Imagine waking up on what seems like an ordinary morning, the world outside just beginning to stir, unaware that everything is about to change. You check your phone, and the news is everywhere. Half of the world's most popular airplanes are suddenly grounded, unable to take off or land. On November 28, 2025, aviation authorities across the globe issued an unprecedented order. Thousands of Airbus A320 jets must stop flying immediately. No exceptions. The A320 isn't just another airplane, it's the backbone of global air travel, with over 11,000 in service, carrying millions of passengers every single day and connecting cities, families, and businesses. Grounding more than 6,500 of them overnight was like pulling every other car off the world's highways at once, an unimaginable disruption to daily life and commerce. The cause wasn't a mechanical failure, a cyber attack, or a security threat. Instead, it was something far more cosmic, a powerful solar flare erupting from the sun, sending a wave of energy toward Earth. This sudden burst of solar energy interfered with a critical computer system on the A320, exposing a hidden vulnerability that no one had anticipated. The very technology that made these planes so safe, advanced fly-by-wire computers, designed to assist pilots and prevent accidents, had become their Achilles heel in the face of nature's unpredictability. The sun, 93 million miles away, had managed to reach across the void and disrupt the very heart of modern aviation, reminding us of our vulnerability. The shockwaves rippled instantly through airlines, governments, and millions of travelers worldwide, stranding people, halting business, and creating chaos in airports everywhere. For decades, we've trusted computers to make flying safer, faster, and more reliable, believing technology could outsmart any problem. But, on this day, the very systems that kept us safe and connected brought the world's air travel to a sudden grinding halt. The skies stood eerily still, and the world was forced to confront just how fragile and interconnected our technological systems truly are. This was a crisis no one saw coming, a wake-up call from the universe itself. The crisis began with a terrifying moment on JetBlue Flight 1230 as it soared high above Florida, cruising through what seemed like a routine flight. Passengers were relaxing, some reading or napping, when, without warning, the plane violently pitched down, dropping 100 feet in just 7 seconds, a sudden stomach-churning descent that left everyone stunned. Chaos erupted instantly, people and carts were thrown into the air, oxygen masks dangled, and panic swept through the cabin as passengers screamed and clung to their seats. The pilots, equally shocked, hadn't commanded the dive. Their controls showed the plane had acted on its own, leaving them scrambling to understand what had just happened. Thanks to quick thinking and rigorous training, the crew managed to regain control and land safely. Still, 15 passengers were hospitalized, shaken, and injured by the ordeal. Investigators launched a thorough search for answers but found no mechanical fault or pilot error. Nothing to explain the sudden dive. The black box revealed a split-second corruption in the flight control computer's data, a digital hiccup that had triggered the crisis. The culprit, a burst of solar radiation, had scrambled the computer's memory, causing it to send a false command to the plane's controls, an invisible force from space. This was the first clue that something far beyond Earth had reached into the cockpit, disrupting technology in ways never seen before. The incident became the key to unraveling a threat no one had anticipated, one that could strike any aircraft, anywhere in the world. If it could happen once, it could happen again. Anywhere, anytime, putting every flight at risk and raising urgent questions for aviation safety. The sun, once seen only as a source of light and warmth, had become an unexpected adversary for modern aviation. The aviation world was on high alert, determined to understand and defend against this new, invisible threat from space. Investigators quickly realized the problem wasn't inside the plane, but far above it, originating from a force no one on board could see or control. A recent solar flare had unleashed a torrent of high-energy particles toward Earth, and JetBlue 1230 happened to fly directly through this invisible storm. The crew and passengers had no idea that above the clouds, the sun was launching a surprise attack. The A320's advanced fly-by-wire system relies on computers like the ELAC, which is responsible for controlling the plane's pitch and ensuring smooth, stable flight. But solar radiation caused a bit flip in the ELAC's memory. turning a 0 into a 1 and instantly corrupting its data. This tiny error had massive consequences for the aircraft's control. For a split second, the computer sent a wrong command, pitching the plane down unexpectedly and startling everyone on board. Fortunately, backup systems and skilled pilots acted immediately to prevent disaster, but the vulnerability in the system was now undeniable. The same software and hardware ran on thousands of A320s worldwide, connecting flights across continents and time zones. A single solar event could in theory trigger chaos on multiple flights at once, putting countless lives at risk and overwhelming air traffic control. The risk was too great to ignore, and aviation officials knew immediate action was necessary to protect passengers and crews. That's why authorities made the difficult decision to ground the entire affected fleet, halting flights and stranding travelers worldwide. The industry now faced a new reality. Space weather could threaten even the safest, most advanced planes in the sky. The race was on to find a solution, as engineers and scientists worked around the clock to safeguard the future of flight. The world's trust in aviation technology was shaken, and everyone was left wondering how to protect the skies from the sun's unpredictable power. Why did this happen in 2025? The answer lies with our sun. The sun goes through an 11-year cycle, swinging from calm to stormy. In 2025 we hit the peak, solar maximum, when flares and eruptions are most intense. Scientists had warned this cycle would be especially active, and they were right. Solar storms send energy and radiation toward Earth, creating beautiful auroras, but also threatening our technology. At high altitudes, airplanes are exposed to more radiation, which can disrupt sensitive electronics. The JetBlue incident was no coincidence. It was the result of a perfect storm. A vulnerable aircraft, a software flaw, and a powerful solar flare. And engineers have long known about radiation risks, but this was a wake-up call. The threat wasn't just theoretical, it was real, immediate, and global. Our reliance on technology had collided with the unpredictable power of space weather. The consequences reached far beyond the skies. The world had to adapt. Fast. Grounding the A320 fleet sent shockwaves through global aviation. Nearly 6,500 planes, 60% of the world's most popular jet, were suddenly out of service. 8 million daily passenger seats vanished overnight. Airlines scrambled. American, Delta, United, EasyJet, Wizz Air, Air France, all forced to cancel flights and rebook passengers. In Japan, ANA canceled 95 flights in a single day. In South America, Avianca halted ticket sales for 10 days. India's airlines raced to update 250 planes. The crisis exposed how interconnected and vulnerable our travel system is. Standardization made operations efficient, but also created a single point of failure. The solar flare revealed a weakness not just in a computer, but in the very structure of global aviation. Once the flaw was found, Airbus and airlines launched a massive recovery effort. For most planes, the fix was a quick software rollback, replacing the faulty code with a safer, older version. Maintenance crews worked around the clock, updating over 5,000 jets in just days. American Airlines, for example, restored all 340 affected planes within 24 hours. But about 1,000 older jets needed new hardware, not just software. These planes required replacement of the ELAC computer with a radiation-hardened unit, a process taking days or weeks. Logistics became the next challenge: manufacturing, shipping, and installing new computers worldwide. Most of the fleet returned quickly, but some planes remained grounded, prolonging the disruption. The crisis showed both the strengths and limits of modern maintenance. Speed mattered, but resilience mattered more. While engineers worked, chaos unfolded in airports everywhere. Thousands of flights canceled, millions stranded, departure boards filled with canceled, families missed holidays, business travelers lost deals, and people seeking medical care were left in limbo. In Australia, Jetstar canceled 90 flights. In Europe, trains and rental cars sold out as passengers scrambled for alternatives. Unexpected expenses piled up. Hotels, meals, lost time. Airlines struggled to rebook everyone. Some waited days for a seat. The crisis turned travel into a nightmare, revealing just how much we depend on smooth air travel. A solar flare, millions of miles away, had upended lives around the globe. The A320 grounding was more than a travel disaster. It was a wake-up call about our dependence on technology. We trust computers to keep us safe, but complexity brings new vulnerabilities. We test for mechanical failures and human error, but rarely for threats from space. The idea that a solar flare could ground thousands of planes seemed impossible until it happened. The crisis exposed the danger of overstandardization. One flaw: global impact. Future designs must prioritize resilience, not just efficiency. We need to consider threats from beyond our planet in every critical system. This is a chance to build smarter, more robust technology. The goal isn't to fear technology, but to prepare for the unexpected. The silent skies of 2025 are a warning and an opportunity to adapt. The A320 crisis was dramatic, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Solar radiation can disrupt any modern electronic system, not just airplanes. Our power grids, managed by computers, could fail in a major solar storm, causing blackouts for millions. GPS and communication satellites are also at risk, threatening navigation, internet, and phone service. In 1989, a solar storm blacked out Quebec for 9 hours. Today, the stakes are even higher. Our financial systems, healthcare, and data centers all depend on vulnerable microchips. The A320 grounding was a warning shot. Are we ready for a bigger event? Protecting our civilization means preparing for the sun's next surprise.